PlayStation is looking into NFTs and blockchain technology. PlayStation is working on NFTs and blockchain technology. Now, we have seen the pushback from the video game industry when it comes to NFTs and blockchain, but it seems like companies don't care whatsoever what the gamers want and what they're saying, except for companies like Xbox and Phil Spencer, who has said that they aren't looking into NFTs because they think it's too exploitative right now. They've even had Minecraft come out and say it's too exploitative. So if you're on the Xbox side of things, I don't think you need to worry about NFTs anytime soon. But on the PlayStation side, it looks like they have potentially something in the works when it comes to NFTs. So this was found out because of a patent that has been filed, and it is titled Tracking Unique In-Game Digital Assets Using Tokens on a Distributed Ledger. Now, there's a lot of information here. I'm going to read through it to tell you what this is all about. It says here, individuals often find it meaningful to own or use unique physical items related to respected celebrities or activities. For example, fans of skilled baseball players Babe Ruth or baseball in general often seek to purchase baseballs autographed by Ruth, baseballs hit by Ruth in an important baseball game, trading cards depicting Ruth, and the like. Now, Sony is suggesting here that they will have a system that is going to be used to verify the authenticity of their digital assets within their games, so that they can, I guess, pass them out to good players of their games, to content creators, and anybody who wants to buy or sell them. It says here, skilled players of multiplayer video games gain popularity in matches or tournaments which are often live streamed or otherwise broadcast to numerous viewers. Likewise, well-known players often live stream or otherwise broadcast gameplay of single-player or multiplayer video games. For instance, in which the players perform or attempt speedruns, in-game challenges, multiplayer matches, and other gameplay activities. Some players who are particularly skilled or charismatic can develop a large following of devoted fans, much like fan followings for famous athletes, singers, actors, and other celebrities. In some video games, a player can use digital assets during gameplay. Such digital assets can include, for example, specific characters, costumes, or items. In traditional video games, multiple instances of the same in-game item exists within the same copy of the video game and/or within different copies of the video game. These different instances of the same in-game item are traditionally fungible, as they are indistinguishable from one another. For instance, even if a particular in-game item is rare to obtain within the video game, the in-game item is represented in the video game as a string of code that is identical to representations of other instances of the same in-game item in the same video game and/or in other copies of the same video game. Thus, in a traditional video game, no one digital asset is unique from other instances of the same in-game item. Just a long-winded way to say that right now, everybody has the same items within video games. No one has anything that is actually unique compared to somebody else. If they complete the same goals and objectives, you're all going to have the same stuff within that particular video game. What they want to do with this NFT is to take that away. They want to make sure that certain in-game digital assets and items that you have are unique to you as a player, that no one else has, that you can represent yourself with. Now, when it goes down to talking about their techniques and everything of what they want to do specifically for their NFTs, they say technologies described here and expand the capabilities of digital assets associated with video games and of the systems that create and manage such digital assets by converting the digital assets associated with video games from being fungible to being non-fungible. The technique and technologies described here and expand the functionality of digital assets associated with video games and of the systems that create and manage such digital assets by tracking history of the digital assets. Tracking the history of the digital assets can include, for example, tracking when, how, and by whom the digital asset was created, used, modified, rented to, rented by, sold to, purchased by, licensed to, licensed by, exchanged to, exchanged by, and or other action. So, I mean, I don't know. The reasoning behind all of this stuff, it just sounds so sketchy to me when it comes to NFTs and video games. The reason why companies really want to do this is to keep you locked into their systems, to be able to track you within their systems, to be able to make sure that if you're trying to leave and go play on another platform, you're tied to that digital asset that's on the platform you're currently playing on. So your incentive for leaving is almost zero. There's no incentive if you have all of these unique digital assets only on, let's say, PlayStation. We know PlayStation has launched PlayStation Stars. They have digital assets for rewards that you can get within PlayStation Stars, but they came out and they said it's not NFTs. You don't need to worry about that. And now we're seeing this patent pop up, which is making me believe that in the future, things like PlayStation Stars and other things that have to do with the PlayStation ecosystem are going to be tied to NFTs. And I don't know how good that is going to go over. We have already seen the pushback. We're seeing the pushback to Ubisoft, to Square. And when speaking about Square, they keep pushing forward blockchain and NFTs. And maybe this is another thing along those lines where they are making these changes at PlayStation. They're looking into these things because they are currently looking at making that acquisition of Square Enix, because we know that's been a rumor that's been going around for a very long time. And when you see their business practices and you see how good a relationship that they have with games like Final Fantasy, it's all kind of starting to align. So maybe a complete speculation, but maybe this is something that they are doing to try to utilize the technology and the stuff that Square is currently starting with their NFTs and their blockchain. But I have a feeling it's a bad idea. I don't think any of this is going to work, especially when we take a look at all of the recent craziness stuff that has been going on with the scams, with FTX, and just all of this stuff. This technology isn't ready yet, I don't think, to be utilized in a way that isn't exploitative, like Xbox has said. And we are clearly seeing that with a lot of these world events. And within video games, gamers don't want this. So hopefully this is just a patent. It's not going to come to fruition, but as of right now, it looks like PlayStation is looking into it. But that's it for me, guys. What are your thoughts on NFTs and blockchain within video games? Do you think this is something that should eventually transition to video games, or do you never want to see this enter the video game market? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support. I'll catch you in the next video.